ship. So viewers, this ship in fact departed from the Paradeep port in Odisha. It was going to be arriving in Singapore on 27th of August. So the arrival date for this particular bulk cargo ship carrier was 27th of August. It departed on 20th of August at around 22:43. So we are talking about late in the evening it was departed and it was due to arrive in Singapore on 27th of August. Now of course, this ship is the bulk carrier Ocean Winner. Now when you talk about the particular location, 1 day and 11 hours ago, you have the location as Bengal Bay. So essentially this was the moment when the Indian Coast Guard was unable to track the ship and lost communication with it. What kind of ship are we talking about? This is Ocean Winner bulk carrier, which was sailing under the flag of Panama. The length of the ship is 225 meters and width is 32.26 meters. Now of course, at the last moment of communication with the ship, it was reported as underway using engine. The navigational status for this particular ship, Panama-flagged ship, was underway using engine. Now of course, this is a status report that is 1 day 11 hours ago. So of course, now the Indian Coast Guard has been unable to have communication with the ship. Now of course, you have other details of the ship as well, such as the IMO number, the call sign for this particular ship. It was a cargo vessel. The detailed vessel type is bulk carrier. It was in fact, I would like to tell our viewers, carrying iron ore, and it was due to arrive in Singapore on 27th of August. This is the destination Singapore, and reported ETA was 27th of August at 7:30. So this is in fact the detail, and in fact you also have the visuals of the ship here. As you can see, these are the visuals of the ship. I would like to go back to the details of the ship in just a moment. So essentially you had 24 people on board that particular ship, and 20 of them were Chinese, some were Myanmar nationals, and one was Bangladeshi national. So here are the details. In fact, you can also view this live on the map, and here you have more details of the ship. In fact, the speed of the ship, it was due to arrive in Singapore on 27th of August. I have in fact DS Sodi, Commodore DS Sodi, defense expert, joining us to get his perspective on this particular development. Commodore, of course, a serious situation here off the coast of Odisha. This ship was in fact departed from Indian coast, Paradeep coast we are talking about in Odisha, on 20th of August. Now, I would like to understand from you, what is the golden period are we talking about? How long do you think the Indian Coast Guards will be continuing with their operations, given the fact that it has now been approximately more than 2 days, in fact, that the ship communication was lost by the Indian Coast Guard?
Good morning, Hina. Firstly, the sinking of this ship is very unfortunate. It was a bulk carrier, as you are reporting, carrying iron from Odisha coast. Well, if the communication breakdown has been there for the last, as reported by you, more than a day, it's difficult to say as to what could be the reason why this loss of communication was there, because these days this ship has got so many captive phones on board also. There is a possibility that there could have been uncontrolled flooding in the ship that would have resulted in the sinking of the ship. So far as the Navy and the Coast Guard are concerned, well, the incident which has been reported, I think it's around about 250 nautical miles away from the Indian coast. So the Coast Guard and the Navy are on with their operations, and I think 3 crew members have been rescued. The operation by the Coast Guard and the Navy will continue for some time, because there is always a probability that some of the crew members may be there afloat in the boat. rescue boats which are there on board the ship. So that's all one can say as of now, and we have to wait and see maybe another few hours, or maybe by the end of the day we come to know as to what is the status of the other crew members. But it looks that it seems that the probability of picking up more crew members is bleak.
Absolutely, Commodore. And of course, would like to ask you, because this particular ship had no Indian national, but of course, a lot of nationals from China, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. So, of course, we'll be hearing soon from the authorities in those countries as well. But do you see any joint operation soon to be taking place as well?
The ship is located to be sunk. As of now, our Navy and the Coast Guard are there. And I'm sure that the other ships in the vicinity would also be engaged in this rescue operation. Whichever country, whichever nation is next to the area, I'm sure they will also try to send their ships for the rescue. That is the norm which is adopted by all the countries and all the navies, as well as the Coast Guard, to see to it that they come to the rescue of any ship which is in distress.
Absolutely, Commodore. Thank you so much for joining and getting your perspective on this. Shifting our focus to more breaking news. A tragic incident has been